Hello, my name is Jenny, and I am here to talk about my life a little bit. And the title is called Just Keep Swimming. I was born in California, and I am 43 years old. I was born in Bakersfield, California, and we lived there from a baby. I lived there from a baby to elementary school, and we decided to move to San Luis Obispo. My parents owned a flooring and window covering store there for several years until I was in junior high, and then the recession hit. And my dad was building homes. He was in construction. He had his own business, and it was much easier to build homes in Las Vegas to get permits and less expensive to build homes there. So we moved there, and that was a huge change for me. Um, I do have a sister, and she is 7 years older than me, and so she wasn't with me. She was living on her own. She was an adult at that time. So I really just starting over and not knowing anyone. So, and just in a really different atmosphere in town. So that was a big change. Was there through junior high and high school. In high school, I had a boyfriend, and we were together for 2 years. I ended up getting pregnant and had my son at 17, 3 months before my 18th birthday. So my senior year, I was pregnant. The day that I was supposed to walk with my class, I had him. So that was a good graduation present. I went to nail school and was going to do nails and had my own business, and that was really hard because I wanted my own place and I wanted to be able to be financially sound. I never wanted my parents to have to do anything as far as helping me raise my son. His biological wasn't in the picture. He went to prison when I was 6 months pregnant and didn't get out until he was about 5. And so went to nail school. That didn't, I did it for a while, and it was just really hard to build clientele and to have enough money. And so I ended up working kind of odds and end jobs, and got my own apartment. And I decided to come out to Washington with my sister to visit one of her friends, and we both really liked it because it reminded us of California. The ocean and the trees and the green, and people were friendly, and so I did not want to raise my son in Las Vegas, and the schools weren't great, and it's just a hard town to grow up in, at least in my experience it was. So I was supposed to move with my sister. That didn't happen. My car broke down, had to save money, so I ended up coming a year later and was in a relationship, and that relationship didn't last. We were together for a little over almost 2 years. Ended up coming back to Las Vegas and stayed with my parents for exactly a year to the day, saved money, and moved back to Washington with my son by myself. So that was pretty empowering. And had an apartment, got a job at a flooring place, which is just kind of weird to get into flooring like my parents did. Ended up getting an opportunity in property management and worked my way up. Did that for several years, probably about 20 years, did property management. Ended up buying a condo when I was 26, 27, and a new car, and was doing pretty well. And when in 2009 I met my husband, and we got married about 9 months later. It was pretty fast. We just knew it just worked. He's a firefighter. He was a firefighter, and had been in the military. He ended up getting out of the military. He's originally from Indiana, but he moved here because of the military. So I got lucky that I got to meet him because of that. We have 4 kids, including my son, who he's legally adopted, and sold my condo. We've had a few houses. We ended up moving to Indiana because my husband's whole family's over there. And my sister and my mom were out here, but we weren't seeing each other very often. We thought it would be great for our kids to be around cousins and aunts and, bigger family, and thought that it would be a good change of atmosphere for everyone, and built a beautiful home, and were there for 3 years and figured out that everyone was absolutely miserable and did not like it there. So my husband had gotten out of firefighting before we had moved and was in safety. He was an executive in safety, and so he got a position at his old company. He was offered a position out back in Washington, so he moved back in 2019, and 2019 was pretty rough. I ended up losing both my parents about 3 months apart. My dad had kidney failure, and then my mom had lung cancer that metastasized to her brain, and so they ended up passing. I was lucky to be able to spend time with both of them. I ended up caring for my dad in Indiana. I had him move in with us, and I went to stopped property management, got into real estate, got my license in Indiana, built my business, and then we moved. Started over in Washington with my real estate, and got my license again out here, and got my managing broker's license. Started building my business again out here, and COVID hit. I moved in 2019, and so I would say since then, today, my 2 oldest kids, they don't live at home anymore. One is 20 and one is 25, and they live on their own, and they're doing well. And I have a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old daughters at home. And this last year, I found out that our 10-year-old has an autoimmune disorder, and so that's been really challenging. So been spending a lot of time, figuring that out and taking care of her, and which I'm blessed and lucky to be able to do. And our 13-year-old has some of her own struggles that we're also working through with mental health and different things. And so I go to school full time. I left real estate. I decided about a year ago last summer to leave real estate and take a break. I still have my license to be home and help with our business, because we started a podcast. And so my husband is doing that full time. He's a speaker and he has a podcast, and we have a podcast. He's the face, I'm behind the scenes. So I quit real estate to go to school and help out behind the scenes, and ended up, this is my 4th quarter in school. So I am going for psychology, and I'm also taking art, and really enjoying that, and being able to have my own thing, and help out where I can with him, with the podcast, and take care of the kids. So it's a very busy life. It's been harder just because the health of my kids, and just trying to figure out, what they need and make sure they are okay each day. So kind of juggling a lot of things. So I would say my goal for school is psychology and art. Some type of art therapy is what I'm looking forward to doing. I have to have my master's to do it, so I'm almost done with half done with my AA. So I've still got a little bit of journey there to do, but I'm going to do it. And pretty proud of myself. I've had all A's and been on the president's list, so that's an accomplishment. I was kind of an average student in school, so proud of myself there. As a family, we like to ride bikes and go on hikes and be outdoors as much as possible. I love the ocean, so anytime I can be by the water or a lake or anything, I'm happy. Something that you wouldn't know about me that's important is I met my husband online. We met on plentyoffish.com, and it was actually a joke. one of my best friends, she was my coworker at the time, she and I both had been single a long time and did it as a joke. And I was on Plenty of Fish for a week, and he kind of did the same thing. He was firefighting, and everyone was joking around making profiles. And within a week, we met each other, and by week 2, we were dating, and we've been married for this year will be 13 years. So that is my life, and I'm calling it Just Keep Swimming because I feel like I'm going upstream, but I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep going. So thank you for listening to my story, and I look forward to hearing all of your stories.